Hello everyone, I'm going to review a certain watch I just bought not too long ago. It is the absurdly large Diesel Mr. Daddy 2.0. Now I'm just going to say this a lot, I'm not particularly what I'd say a watch collector. I appreciate watches. I take note of everyone's watch that they're wearing. I don't usually point it out unless it's a watch that I particularly like. Then I will say that it's a very good watch. I've only ever seen one other person wear this watch, and I'm just like, hey, I like your watch. It was very cool. But I'm just going to do an honest review of how I feel about this watch, and hopefully I can bring to light of some people that may or may not want to think about buying this watch in particular. Now, I'm going to say it is definitely not for everyone, and it is definitely an oversized watch, and a lot of people, or a lot of watch collectors and like real watch collectors who do it as a hobby would find this watch as a disgrace, and honestly, that's kind of not the right approach. It's an oversized watch. It's kind of it used to be a bigger trend back then, and at this time it's 2020, and it is definitely not a trend as it used to be anymore. And that's kind of, you have these people where it's just like if the lugs go way past, and mind you, my arm is definitely not like meaty. I'm definitely bigger, but I mean, like, if you look at this, let me see if I can zoom out just a bit. No, I can't. Anyways, but it's definitely big. It is definitely huge on my arm, and that is definitely something that people might find unattractive in a watch, and a watch should not be your attractive part in your apparel, and that's something a lot of people do wrong in watches. So that is just something that you definitely want to look out for. This watch definitely stands out. There are different colors for this watch. There are more natural colors. This one is a black and gold. And I know some people were saying that the contrast on the back makes it hard to see, but in better light, you can see the hands much better. It's not, honestly, I never really had that issue unless it's really low light, but at that point, you wouldn't see a watch anyways. You wouldn't see the hands of the watch anyways, unless it's like white on black. If it was like any other color, like black on blue, no, you wouldn't see it, So if anyone's trying to say that the contrast isn't good, then they don't really know much about it. I guess I should go through the run through of its functions. As you can see right there, it tells the date, which is phenomenal. That's something is just really cool to me. The reason why I like it is because it not only does it tell the date, it has a chronograph, which is this button right here, and now it will start that one down below. It's kind of difficult to see, but it's starting it. The one on the left right there in the middle is your minutes. That one's your seconds. The top one actually is your... Oh, by the way, that also pauses it. This resets your timer. The top one right here is your 24-hour time of this watch right here. So you have a normal watch, and by all means, that watch is normal size. But then you've got these three other ones. So these three connect to every single one. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can kind of guess. And I love the way these two faces are made. They're just beautiful. I love how they function. They go in a circle. If they made a watch that was just this, and I'm sure they do, I just never found one. If I found it, I would buy it. I would definitely buy it. This one is... I think this is my only problem. I don't really set this one to anything. I have friends and family, across the globe, and I have them set on these two. But this one in particular, I'm not a huge fan of, because you can't really see it. The bar is in the way, and it's there, and if you're really good at minimalist watches, and you can understand. I guess you might be able to understand how this is. And it has the seconds up here. I mean, you can see it moving right there. But so that is the functions of this watch. It's chronograph, tells the date, does both 24 hours, hand watch, and 3 other time zones. So I'm a particular fan of that. I actually really like the very complicated looked watches that might seem unattractive to some people, and that I can completely understand. Again, to each their own. But I'm gonna go about some bad things. I've been wearing this for about a week, so give or take on, and I've been wearing it extensively through work, and just wearing it casually. The main problem I have is when you put this on, not only is this thing about, probably about 1 pound, it honestly feels about 1 pound. You wear this, and it is not a very great watch to wear loosely. Definitely not one to wear loose. I like my watches relatively tight, but the only problem is when you wear things tight, again, it is not very good for you. Now, the main problem is you will not be able to do this. Now, that might be a problem to most people, and it is a problem. There are times when I have to push things, and I just can't. It locks my hand like this, and it's relatively painful, but eventually you'll get into the habit of just shaking it down. And actually, I think this is about how loose I wear it. The reason why I don't like wearing watches loose is because whenever they flip over, and boy does that trigger, it really annoys me. And it's just, no. So, the cons to this watch, and I feel as if there are more cons than pros, apart from the fact of its functionality and just how overall pretty it looks. Not only is it oversized, believe me, it is bigger than you might believe it to be when you have it in your hands. Not only are the lugs over, so some people might not find that very nice. It is heavy, but if you wear it tight, it often feels as if you have a tourniquet on your wrist. And that is painful. That is genuinely painful. So it does take some time to get used to. If you're not a meaty person, if you're not a big person, this can be relatively painful. And if you just have it like this, if you have it like this on your, if you're floating and you have it right here, you have veins that come across right here. I can feel them right here. And it is just generally not a good feeling. So, my stand is giving way here. But it is just not a good feeling. So that is something to just look at. And you never want to do this. You never want to have a really bad feeling on your thing and on your wrist. And so please make sure that you are relatively, at least, you almost have to wear this loosely. I wore it tight and it felt really bad. And even when it's loose, you can have it right here, and you can honestly see how it pushes into my wrist, and that's painful. Another thing, look how thick it is. Now, it is, for watches being this thick, and that to me is, I'm not too sure why this is freezing up, but it is just absurdly thick. Now, I don't mind thickness too much, but this is a bit much. But overall, I still like the watch. So if you can look past everything, if you can actually look past everything, then this watch might be for you. This watch is definitely not something that you'd see everyone wear. It is definitely not something you'd see anyone wear, for that matter. I'm wearing it because I got it, and I've always looked at it. It is an old watch. I will agree. It's not. It's definitely like I saw it as when I was younger, and I don't. It was always like that's a huge watch, and I always liked it. So I finally got it, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm willing to see past the cons. I'm willing to look at the watch and appreciate how much is in this watch. That's something that I'm willing to do myself. So, and if I can take this off real quick, you can see on the back here, it has got the head of. Oh god, it's all greasy. But you can see it is the head of the what was it from Rocky? I think Rocky 3 or Rocky. I don't know. It was one of the opponents he fought, the Russian dude, and it says only the brave both on the front and on the back. Only the brave up top. There you go. And how does that happen? But I think my only honest complaint, apart from, if you go minus from user problems, the only real complaints that I have with this watch in particular is not only the thickness. I wish, I feel like it could have gone a little thinner. The watch, the glass, is not sapphire. And that to me is just absurd. Now, why would you want a giant watch and it's not sapphire? It leaves it much more prone to all sorts of scratching. And mind you, I've been wearing it to work for a week, and I'm surprised it hasn't been scratched yet. If it is scratched, it is just minor nicks, and it's just not visible to the naked eye. But overall, I like this watch. So if you guys ever see this watch, and you definitely want it, there you go. You can go ahead and look and buy it. Otherwise, stay away from this watch. That's kind of my main thing here. If you do not like oversized watches, if you are scared of thickness, of it getting in the way of your work, or like when you're trying to do some work, if you're scared of it being heavy and give you wrist pains because it feels like a tourniquet, stay away from this watch. I think the top, what it says on the top is, take it to heart. This watch really is only for the brave. I don't get many compliments on watches, and this one I kind of feel like I get more, mainly because it just stands out. So keep in mind, this watch really does stand out. It really, really does stand out. I always get people saying, that's a big watch. And I'm like, yeah, it is a big watch. And if anyone knows me, I am a very extra person. I am very extra. And this pays homage to my personality. I am extra as... I am stupid amounts of extra. So, it fits my personality. It fits me. I like it. I've always liked it when I was younger. I saw it and I bought it. And here it is, after some use, and I quite enjoy it, honestly, despite the very, very significant cons of wearing it. So, that's going to wrap it up. This video is going to be about 15 minutes long. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me. I haven't really had any real flukes. I had a time where it just kind of got completely... desynced. I also didn't say how to set the time. This thing actually has 2 sets to it. You pull it out you have like one tick to it, and that's how you change the date, and you have another tick to it, and that's how you change the time. But other than that, I'll see you guys later. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. I'll go ahead and I'll try and ask any questions. I mean, not like anyone knows me. No one knows me. No one's gonna ask any questions. But anyways, if there is anyone that watches me and does ask any questions, I'll definitely answer you. I've got nothing else better to do. We're in the middle of coronavirus. What do you know? Anyways, have a good time, you guys. I'll see any of you guys